Speaking of flying, how are you feeling about the
2,600
rapture?
jobs. Oh, the rapture.
I had to read up on it because I admittedly didn't really understand.
Okay.
But I read up on it because I saw a clickbait headline about, will my pet go with me? I'm like,
Oh, Christ, Kitty.
I'm like, are we taking our dogs? You know how much I love my dog, right? So I'm
I
like,
know.
I'll go anywhere my dog goes. And then I was like, the fuck is this? So wait, do you have to be in the air for God to take you, or can God take you from the ground?
Well, you're
I'm
going
trying to
buck
understand.
naked. No, you're going buck naked from wherever you are. You could be in a building. And I guess you should go outside when the rapture comes, or you hit your head on the ceiling. Now, as a Catholic, we don't have the rapture. This is, as I bear my Catholic iconography,
Yeah.
Oh
my
wait, this is
symbols.
a denominationally specific event.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like not
If you're not an evangelical, if you didn't know about it,
Yeah.
like, I don't think it's happening to you. That's the thing.
Here's
Try
the
to
thing.
Google
The
it, like,
Jews, you get a
I had
chance,
to
though,
Google
Sammy.
it.
The Jews get a chance because first, the evangelicals are going to send you guys back to Israel as slaves or soldiers. You get to pick,
I'm
I
not
think.
doing that.
Wait,
Sorry.
there's a
well,
choice?
you have
There's a
to.
choice
Yes,
to
because you have
this?
to
No.
conquer Israel. And then
I'm not. Why do I want to
happens,
conquer it?
okay, because for us, I'm not an evangelical Christian. For the evangelical Christian weirdos, my bud. So they're going to take all the Jews, they're going to make them do that. And then as soon as they do that, Jesus is going to come back and he's going to give you a chance to be in the rapture. But
So I
you
have a
have to
question.
denounce being Jewish. You have to be Christian.
Wait, so why didn't this happen yesterday at the Charlie Kirk Memorial if it was such like a thing that was supposed to happen? Wouldn't
This
you
is
think they'd
not the
all be
first.
taken away yesterday?
You would
Listen,
think
this is
so.
not the
It's
first time they promised a rapture. I can
multiple
think of it.
raptures.
At least one example in 2011. It was like early Twitter, and it was like really funny. That was my first experience.
This is like the Y2K for the evangelicals?
Yeah.
Now, people do have genuine rapture fear because they grew up being afraid that they would be left behind and all that. So I feel bad for all those people who, like, as kids, were terrorized by this idea of being sucked up. But this guy, John, came up with it after he got kicked in the head by a horse. So
What?
he had brain damage. He had CTE, and he
was
came
like,
up
you know
with
what?
this. It's not even that old of an idea. It's only from like the late 1800s or something, or 1820s. Yeah, no, it's a very strange.
So when they're not
thing.
taken, what's the rationalization they tell themselves why it hasn't happened?
Well, obviously there was a mistake.
They were bad.
God didn't get the memo.
I know. Well, that's what they're so
Flawless
worried about.
God.
First of all, you're not going. I saw the funniest TikTok, though. This woman named Grace was pretending that she was getting raptured. And she's like, me getting raptured with the Christian because there was a clerical error and they just took everyone with Grace. I thought
That's hilarious.
The funniest.
Wait, what about the
one
where they were going to just leave their clothes on the ground of the driveway to me like they were actually taken?
I think we need a little whimsy and fun. That's what I've been saying. We're all going to fake rapture.
It is a little psychotic, though.
When you say people go naked, like, do they? Yeah. When do they? Where do their clothes go?
God takes you out of your clothes somehow. I don't know.
Do other people
see? I guess.
Yeah, it's creepy. I can definitely understand.
To the sky. That's what's happening.
I can definitely understand how this came from.
Tits up.
Hopefully, gravity is not working
That's how
anymore.
we're all going to be.
Wow. I feel like a tractor beam. Like, I feel like it's like a tractor beam from heaven. You know what it reminds me of? What was that funny ass movie? No, Toy Story. No,
when he's like,
the end of the world. This is the end. Do you guys remember that movie? This is the end.
The last man on the earth, or what? Yeah.
No. The one was like with all the comedians. It had Seth Rogen in it and everybody. And
I assure you, if it had Seth
Rogen,
I did not watch it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But anyway, in that movie, it's the end of the world, and like it's almost like a tractor beam from heaven where they like kind of took you up, but you had clothes, so I'm not quite sure what the rest of it goes.
Well, you know what I was worried about? Not the rapture, but I had somebody had said when you die, that's your ghost outfit for life, and I was like, that's crazy. You know how, because you always see Civil War soldiers in their uniform, or you see Victorian people in their dresses. I was like, oh my God,
you don't see any of these things.
Ghost outfit? Is that your ghost outfit? What would I be wearing? I hope it's something comfortable.
You'd be naked.
You don't see any of these things. You just see them in movies.
I see ghosts all the time.
You've seen a ghost in his Civil War outfit?
Yes. I used to live in Frederick, Maryland, the most haunted place in America. And I'm kind of convinced that people dress up like Civil War soldiers and then just stand in Baker Park to kind of freak people out.
Wait, do you remember that trend a few years ago where people dressed up like killer clowns? And they had
Yes.
killer clown spottings all over America? Sammy's like, what the fuck? No, they
I
dressed
do
up like killer
remember.
clowns. That was wild.
Yeah.
And people were reporting killer clown sightings everywhere. That would have set me off. Clowns and monkeys. Clowns and monkeys for me are just hard. Those are hard for me. Hard.
Yeah, I feel that. They're like close to human, but not a little off.
I saw that documentary Outbreak, so I got a little nervous.
Oh, I understand. Look, I get it.
I got a little scared. Well, and you know what? Because I'm kind of not joking. I'm very serious. So the people that went to the Charlie Kirk memorial service yesterday, putting aside the fact that they're lucky their hair didn't light on fire from all the pyrotechnics, a la Michael Jackson, may he rest in peace. They clearly had the rapture for their fucking garbage because they could leave all their trash outside of the stadium. So the rapture came for their garbage that was inside the packaging, but did not come for them, apparently.
No. Nope.
Disgusting.
Speaking of the pyrotechnics, I just have to say those cold sparklers, we had them at our wedding. They ain't cheap. They had a lot.
So. They spent a lot of money on that, huh? Yeah.
That was...
Did everybody have the pyrotechnics or just Trump?
Trump and
No,
Erica.
there were a bunch. I think there were a few. They have them a bunch.
Who has pyrotechnics at their memorial service? I've been to a lot of funerals and memorial services in my life, I'm sad to say, and I've never gone to one with fireworks. That's just...
I know bagpipes, yes. Guns, absolutely. 21 gun salute, bagpipes, all that.
Yeah,
that's... Never seen so much
Natalie?
LED lighting, personally.
No.
Natalie, quite a few logos.
If I ever, God forbid, were to die of anything ever, and a week later you were on television saying, I forgive the person who killed me, I will haunt you. I will be so fucking mad. I don't want you to forgive anybody. In my ghost outfit, I was like, she's like, I would never do that. I wouldn't. A week later, it's like you didn't even give this woman time to like grieve, and I didn't think she really wanted to say it.
It's all performative. It's all of it's performative, including the very weird Instagram social media post of her with the embalmed hands in the casket last week. Like things like that for me.
Where has
the week before.
Well, she did that last week, but is he just been like...
He's been buried on Saturday.
Oh, really?
Okay. I was like a little bit concerned because I'm like, that was a long time ago that his body was out. Like, you know, you want people to...
It's just so theatrically performative for me. And I find that to be... Listen, people grieve in different ways, but I do find that to be so on brand. And then for her to take that point, to take the point of I forgive, I feel like it's just setting this all up for like the what did I see today on social? She's going to be a vice presidential candidate next to JD Vance. That's what they're saying now.
That makes so much sense. And what I think what's interesting is like the forgiveness, and then the Stephen Miller speech, and then Trump being like, you know, with his like insensitive jokes. Like, I think it was very intentionally crafted to take you on an emotional roller coaster, not just like the typical, like, you know, anyone who's been to a memorial service, and I bet most people watching have at this point, it's not like, it's not this like spectacle, you know, even if it is very emotional and moving, it's not like this, it's not quite as much of a show. And I think that you're very right. It was positioned very in a certain way for a particular reason. And I personally didn't watch it because I felt that like I didn't want to feed the energy of it. Like I would,
so I just texted Sammy the entire time, the play-by-play, and I was like, "Well, I am putting
the whole
your energy."
I just like couldn't. And
you watched it?
I watched from Erica on.
Oh.
I mean, that's like the end, basically. Yeah, but there were like so many speeches. Like there was something for everybody. You had Tucker Carlson, pushing his theories that the Jews killed him subtly. Like, you know, you have all these.
Tucker Carlson was anti-Semitic at this thing yesterday.
Like, and very much a dog whistle. It was a dog whistle. It was like. He said basically like it reminded him of how like people killed Jesus because he was a truth teller, and like these people eating hummus thousands of years ago were sitting around like, how are we going to kill Jesus?
Romans
Jesus was a Jew and he died as a Jew.
Yeah.
They
On the
hated
Romans
him.
killed
on the
Jesus.
eve of one of the high holy days of Rosh
Yes,
Hashanah, that's
You
what
don't
they
exactly.
care.
say.
Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, no, that they're very, very holy, spiritual people who don't, use the Jews for any of their other means. But yeah, so it's this emotional roller coaster. And I also think that, like, she herself is a very, very intriguing character. How did she get
Mm.
here? And I think she will be set up for a career.
Well, it has been announced she is officially the new, quote, CEO of Turning Point USA. Um, you
What
and
does that even mean, though?
I mean, it is a business. It's a money-making organization,
Huge organization.
and it's huge in size. And for those of y'all that are tuning in, hello. So Sammy V and I,
Oh,
yes, we do chat offline when not on Substack, and we were talking about how not only I saw some crazy numbers about subscribers to the YouTube channel, as well as people following on social media for not only Charlie Kirk's accounts, but for Erica Kirk, as well as Turning Point USA. Millions upon millions new followers and subscribers. And then y'all were sharing that there's new chapters, thousands, tens of thousands, new chapters, quote unquote, of Turning
Yeah.
Point USA being launched. But somebody has to be the through line. There has to be the tie that binds. And I reasonably anticipate very sharp elbows jockeying for pole position to be able to run Turning Point USA. And my husband, who is incredibly centrist and talks me off ledges all day long, said he suspects that Turning Point USA will splinter in very short order because there will be a lot of power plays to be able to have somebody who assumes this role, but that Charlie Kirk himself, whether you liked him or not, which I did not, but there's a kind of even Lucky didn't like him. There's a certain charisma that came from Charlie Kirk that you cannot mimic in other people. And so, who
mhm.
is going to be able to take over the reins of this organization?
There's no air. There is already a selling off of Turning Point USA for parts. You have the traditional and established, like,
I don't hear anything.
evangelical churches and youth groups that are trying to pick off TP USA faith. You have the Young America's Foundation, which was the originator of the campus debates, funded by Pat Sajak, host of Wheel of Fortune.
Shut up.
I'm so dead serious. This was my Substack today for the weekend roundup. I was like, God, of course.
Everybody go and
But
subscribe and follow.
he's trying to, they immediately jumped in and were like, we were the original. If you don't feel seen as a conservative on your campus, so just join us. There are competitors to everything that Turning Point did. The original funder and co-founder kind of Turning Point died of COVID. And now you've lost
Yeah, I
Charlie
remember
Kirk.
that.
There is no heir apparent. And that makes it very difficult because even when they're saying, well, we're going to continue the campus debates, with who? Who will
Yeah.
that person be?
The totally staged, imbalanced,
Ladies.
not fair campus debates, those, is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about? The
Well, who's
ones,
going to be the one? It's not Candace Owens. They're blocking her out. It can't be Erica Kirk. That's not her talent.
I
It's like,
think
who's it going to be?
I think they'll still do something, but they'll do it like they might not do like the prove me wrong thing. They might just do like rallies, or they
But wasn't
might
that the
do
whole
like,
mission of him though? Wasn't like the whole like his thing, Sammy, was he was brave enough to go and debate you and that whole bullshit free speech thing that they were talking about?
yes, but that's all the people who knew of him before. Now think
Mm.
about all the new people who know about it, and it doesn't need to be that. Like, they don't miss that. The fans will already be like fans. I think
It's
you're
just
right
more
that it
Trump
is gonna
rally.
Oh,
it's
who
more
needs
like,
more of
no,
that
it's more like
shit?
movement rally. Like, I actually think it will splinter, but I think that as a result, like, more people will become powerful in different ways. And I think ultimately Erica Kirk, because she can't just step in and run this organization tomorrow the way her husband did. It is not possible. And part of what I think is so interesting about him was that his media personality held together the political and the,
Right.
organizational piece. Like, it was about him. She can't do that, but they can use this for the next 2 years to
Oh, sure.
basically,
To grift.
to
To
grift
grift.
and to launch her brand. And,
Mm.
What is
worst
her
case, she
brand?
becomes a podcaster.
What's
She's
her
like
brand?
Mama Bear, holy, so, like
You have so much of that, though.
But it's
Who's she gonna? So
her.
Ally Beth Stuckey does it. Meghan McCain does it. Candace
But
Owens does it.
but
You got
she's
Ballerina Farm, and that's I know she's
but
her
Tracy
she's
own
Erica
thing.
Treadline.
Kirk. She is
Yeah,
a household name unto her own. She is the
sure.
heir to Turning Point. She can craft her own brand. Like, I also think that, like, what's underrated about her is that Erica Kirk codes, like, if you actually just looked at her resume points, very, like, Northeastern liberal woman.
Yeah,
Like, started, like, she's educated.
real
She went to
estate.
college.
Yeah.
She worked, she started a nonprofit organization at 18, something interesting and weird with Romania, but like she had jobs. She was a casting director. She was like on Summer House. Like, she didn't get married till she was 32, and she's 5 years older than Charlie Kirk. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think she necessarily is some like, weak-willed, meek woman who's like afraid to speak her mind. Like, she's gonna just do what she wants to do.
Question for you both from the chat here. Bryce has a good point.
Oh,
I was
hi.
noticing that the audience for this memorial was very old, and that's what
Old.
made me think it was like more, they were there more for Trump than for Charlie Kirk. But Bryce is saying that the myth of the young conservative, he had all these young conservative men who were like really lined up for him, is a myth. And in fact, the majority of Charlie Kirk's audience, or the people who really supported Turning Point, were older. Do you think that that's true, that it was like they were saying, well, he's got 20,000 followers, they must all be Gen Z? Or do you think that happened afterwards?
Well, I think that Charlie Kirk before went, those
Oh my
audiences
God.
are
Hi,
real. Who
Marianne
likes it?
Williamson. What's up,
Oh
girl?
my God, hey.
I
Do you want to join?
We had
The
her on one time. I can only have 3 at a time. We had Marianne Williamson on one time. She was a blast. She was
Oh
hilarious.
yeah,
She was really
so much
funny.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay, Charlie Kirk did have a really solid young audience that liked him, but he went to them. So, like,
Right.
yeah, he went to their colleges and he showed up in their feeds and they liked what he said. That's very different than asking them to go to his like rapture-esque
Right.
memorial service that's like also kind of a Turning Point rally that's like
Sure.
very intense. So I don't know that that's like the kind of event, like they can see the clips online.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
and then we saw the people on the media footage, right? They were all older.
Mm-hmm.
90 something percent of them were white. I didn't see a
Mm-hmm.
lot of minorities there.
Mm-mm.
I will say the one thing that's happened since he's died that's kind of stopped me dead in my tracks is the number of people that I didn't realize either quote supported him or liked him that have now been posting on their personal social media either quotes, clips, or
Yeah.
videos. So when I dig a little bit more as to the why, the explanation has been a lot of people looked at him from his quote Christianity and from his quote motivational speaking. So I had to kind of go and do some research. I'm like, this guy was a
He did do
motivational
that.
speaker.
He did do that.
And
Yes.
I didn't realize that. So then I was like, but how convenient for you to compartmentalize it, where you can ignore all the anti Semitism, hatred, white supremacy, great replacement theory, anti woke, anti DEI. How do you ignore that? And I am shushed and told, well, he supported the state of Israel. Like, I just, the cherry
He
picking
was
that has been
starting to be a little
happening of
critical,
this.
though. He was.
But
Yeah.
still,
Might have got him right. That's
I've been
the new
seeing all these
conspiracy.
crazy ass social media posts from people that I didn't realize are like saying all these things about him. And
Kristen Chenoweth.
the fuck is happening is what I
What
just said to
happened?
myself.
I have a theory on it, and I can give you an example of like something that happened to like me that might like make sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that not everyone is like fully immersed in everything he does and says. They just get fed like the motivational clips because
Right.
the algorithms know what they should feed you to make you happy or furious and what will keep you watching. So like people who want the motivational stuff will get it. They genuinely might never know that Charlie Kirk has this whole catalog of other stuff. And I'll tell you, like the other day I like posted in my Cope scroll like a random tweet from someone who like I followed on Twitter, like just whatever. It was like a random post. And then someone messaged me like, that guy is a like white supremacist. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, and like, I didn't know. The only thing I had ever seen him post was like, because I think he became like reformed MAGA, like, or anti MAGA. He like switched or whatever. So the only thing I had ever seen him post was like pretty anti all of that. So like I didn't like understand that. You know what I mean? And so maybe it's like, I'm not saying that's everybody, and I'm sure many of them would excuse the gross things he said too. But like I think it is possible that because of the volume of content he had, like people might have just gotten like,
Just the
15
part.
of his, nice, happy speeches, like that aren't.
Well, that just goes to show how absurd social media is and how we
Yeah.
really need to be so careful, because I would never put Mel Robbins and Charlie Kirk in the same fucking basket for motivational speaking people. Okay.
Oh,
And I
But
would
I
not
bet you
put,
people
I mean,
would.
maybe Joel Osteen and Charlie Kirk, maybe I put together for the
sure.
Christianity
Yeah.
algorithm, but I certainly am not going to be going to Charlie Kirk to inspire me to do better in my life. I don't but this just goes to show like
You're
people.
not a casual consumer.
No.
Apparently not. I mean,
You're too
I
woke,
just,
Katie. You're too
but I
in.
couldn't, but I couldn't believe these people posting on social. And let me be very clear, it was on Facebook. Okay, it was
Oh,
all
yeah.
on Facebook.
No.
Some on Instagram on their stories, and I was like, I see you putting that shit on 24 hours only IG story. You don't want to put that as a permanent post, do you?
Oh,
These like citations to Charlie Kirk. Like I am like baffled. And I go back and I look at the Facebook stuff, and then of course I go, I'm like, who's liking this? Who's
Yeah.
commenting on this? And I'm like, unfollow. But these are people I've known for decades. Decades.
They
I
did
I
a
really think
tribute.
it's like people aren't thinking about this as like with such a fine-tooth comb.
Mhm.
Well, they
They don't
should.
think of, yeah. I- I-
Can we
yeah.
talk about the tributes that they did at the Yankee Stadium and at NFL and all that? So
Yeah. Why?
here's the thing. I think that people had like a panic reaction. One, I'm totally including myself in this. Watching that video was not good for anybody.
No, that was
Everybody
messed
in
up.
America saw a
Messed up.
very thing that you should not be seeing. It's just not natural
No.
to see that. So I think that fucked people up for sure. And I myself included, I was very disturbed by that video,
Clip.
of course.
Yeah.
And I knew that I wasn't in like a great place to talk because I was like, it brought up a lot of stuff for me, like stuff, like PTSD type stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, you know what? Maybe I'm going to just take a little time off. But that's me, right? Because I know how to manage my reactions to traumatic events. A lot of people don't. And I think they freaked and they started to get like wrapped up in their own stuff. But there were two things that happened that broke the sort of fever that was happening after the assassination murder in my little neighborhood. One was one of my friends coaches their son's football team, and the boys are 10. They're 10 years old. And one of the coaches was like, should we do a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk tonight? And Rocco was like, I will die on this field. They are 10. They don't know who he is. And the guy was like, well, I don't know. Everybody's doing it. And he was like, everybody's not doing it. He's like, everybody I see is doing it. The Yankees did it. The Bills are supposed to do it. Everybody's doing it. And Rocco was like, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. These kids are 10. This is crazy. Like this is, and then the guy was like, wait, yeah, that probably is crazy. They probably have
He's
no
not the
idea. They're going to go looking
president.
for the video. So that was one thing, but that showed to me just like a nice guy, like thought maybe this is like the way, didn't know what to do, thought, show and tell, follow the leader. When the Bills did it, it was a full week and a half after he was killed. And it's like really late by this point, and it was our home game. And right before they said, we just want to take a moment of silence for all the victims of gun violence. And they showed a little picture of Charlie Kirk, right? And people were like, all right, that's for some of the people here and not for us. At least they didn't make it a big deal. Well, then at halftime, they played it again. And people started booing it because it was like, stop. We're trying to watch a football game.
But did it show other people, like other victims of gun
No,
violence?
it was just showing him. And they didn't show it on the commercials or anything. It was just like on the Jumbotron, like for some reason.
And it was just him?
And people were
Probably
booing
cycled through with like.
yeah.
Yeah.
So people were like booing for them to stop doing it because they did it like 2 or 3 times, I guess, at the Bills game. And they were like, look, you did it the 1 minute before. We all kind of were like, okay, that's for some people, not for us. Let's get to our game. we have to have spaces that are not inundated by politics and by sadness. And a Bills game was one of those places. If you're going to do it before, that's great. But don't bring it up again at halftime. Don't bring it up again right before we come back from commercials. It's like, what? It became like, you know how they say, don't shove the game stuff down our throat? Even normie people in Western New York at a Bills game who probably voted for Trump were like, this is a lot. Okay, I have to be able to escape this. I want to just enjoy my football game. And
And
so
it
I
was
think that people are breaking
the
the fever. Yeah.
But here's the thing, it's the hypocrisy, though,
Right.
of the flags at half staff,
The
et
whole
cetera,
thing.
that they didn't do for Melissa Hortman and her husband and the dog, right? And they haven't
Right.
done for other people. And
Right.
so why him? And I still struggle because I I don't I don't accept the martyrdom of this man at all. And I don't want somebody to make me feel badly that
Yeah.
I don't remember him that way. I
Yeah.
don't. The guy said
I
some pretty
agree.
fucking horrific stuff. It's like, I don't understand why I'm supposed to why am I supposed to be made feel badly if I don't support this memorialization of him that is completely whitewashing, which you would love, right? He would have loved this idea of whitewashing everything because it was very on brand with who he was.
Let me just say what you're saying is actually quite aligned with what Charlie Kirk would have said about
Ironies abound.
you know, like he would have said the same exact thing. Like from what I can see of things he said about people who die from gun violence. But what I think it is I agree with you. Like, I don't really get it. Like, this is a private citizen. Like, he's a guy. Like, I understand he was very influential, but so were a lot of people. And why I think people go along with it or are going along with it is because of the way that we all saw him die. And I think that like that collective like shock and trauma was like so like it's almost like I think people are grieving the fact that they experienced that
They're trying to
because
make it the
it's
next
really
9/11
terrible.
moment, and that's what made it gross, okay? They
Well, it
said,
did
"Oh, a
feel like
collective
where were
trauma."
you
A lot of
when?
people said that. Where were you when? You know who I feel bad for? His
His
parents and
children.
his sister. No, his children are young. I
His
feel terrible for them.
children.
They lost their
They're
dad.
gonna
They don't
see
know anything
this.
different. They're going to see this forever. Their mom is already, wrapped up in whatever's going on. But like that aside, because that's like somebody else's thing. His parents and his sister did not speak at this memorial.
He has a
They
sister.
have not made it.
Liberal.
They
Oh,
have not made a statement.
there
No,
was
she's
no
only 2 years younger than
family.
him.
There
They
was
did
no
not make a
family at
statement.
that
They have
thing?
not been included. Their son died. Their brother died.
Mm.
And they've not had any choice in any of this circus. And I think that that's really sad. And
That would bother me, yes.
on a much
Same.
lower scale, when my brother died, he was 25 years old. He was
Mm.
absolutely, everybody loved him. And my mom didn't want to do a funeral or anything because she was like, I physically right now, I cannot process this. I can't be in front of
Mm.
people. So we had just a private family thing. And we were like, look, we don't know what happened here. This is a massive tragedy. And everybody in my family is very close. And we're like, we're just going to do a thing for the family. Please leave us alone. But people would not leave us alone. Like there's a certain looky-loo when there's like a death of like a tragic death. And so we had to do a memorial for him so that other people would stop bothering my mom about doing a memorial, right? So the fact that his parents weren't involved says to me either they weren't comfortable with it yet or they weren't even considered. And that to me is just so sad. Like you could hate people however you want, but his mother loves him and certainly is experiencing a horrible loss right now, like
The fact that his parents had to, like, see that video,
right.
that is, I think, like, really
And see
make me
this memorial and see the way that people are using him in
I mean,
such a,
maybe they
like,
killed
twisted
no, or
way. They don't.
maybe
His
they
mother's a mental health counselor. His father's an architect who worked on Trump Tower. Not really. He doesn't
right.
have anything to do with Trump. It was a job, years ago
But I can't believe, so his parents
in Chicago.
and his sister did not participate at all in this gigantic
They
memorial
haven't
service
done anything. They
yesterday.
Not
haven't
that we
even
know.
been considered. No.
But then the wife is doing the crazy stuff, though.
Yeah,
The
well, she's
pyrotechnics.
obviously very centered in the. Also, pyrotechnics at a memorial.
The
What are you doing?
pyrotechnics set me off.
How classless, though. I mean, just it's sad, a lot of it, and a lot of it is people
Right, they're
saying,
so
"Wow, we could seize
celebratory.
this moment for ourselves. We could see this moment for ourselves," and like that's gross.
But that's very on brand for Trump and MAGA
Sure,
to only do what is right,
yeah,
what is good for them, and to not think about the betterment of others. That's very on brand for them.
This is actually a good point, too, from Bryce Rabbits. Why did the video spread so fast? There's so many violent images no one sees normally. I felt the same way. Like, why wasn't this censored?
Twitter. It was on Twitter, and it flew on Twitter.
It
X,
was
whatever
on,
the hell you call
Twitter
it.
Maybe
was
that's where I
first,
saw it.
right?
Twitter was the worst. That's where it all, and in fact, the news outlets were citing to the Twitter videos.
Yep.
So I'm telling you, it's an Elon Musk problem that there is zero content moderation on that platform. And I will say it time and time again, it was 100% X. Those videos were being posted on X, on Twitter. I'm telling you right now, that's where it was. Hands down.
I guess that is where I saw it. I guess yeah. But you know what else has been interesting? The way that this has been like used as a launch pad for, limiting speech. You have, I mean, first of all, like Matthew Dowd getting fired over some like anodyne comment, just
That was
reflexively.
crazy.
And then Jimmy
Crazy.
Kimmel, though he is now going to be coming back
back.
tomorrow. How do we feel about that? I have some thoughts on like the money piece of it all.
Oh, and
I
don't
think
forget
that-
Karen Attiah got fired from WAPO too.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that Jimmy Kimmel has to come back because hundreds of people live paycheck to paycheck who work on his show, and he owes it to them to, if he has the chance to work and address it in whatever way he can. Like, you have a responsibility as the show lead to take care of your people if you can, and those people all hundreds of people getting fired or laid off from work, I think was probably a shock to them and not great. So I hope he does come back for that purpose.
But do you think he's going to have to say something, though, V?
No,
do you
I don't
he's
think
going to
he
have to
does.
apologize or something like
No, I
that?
don't think he will. I think he wins this, right? Because it was the billions of dollars in lost subscribers. I don't think he's coming back because he met Sinclair or Nextstars, apologize to the Kirks and make personal donations. I don't think he did that at all. I think he's coming back because the stock hit, right? They care about what Trump thinks
It's like
until it
$4
fucks with their money.
billion or something.
Yeah. So
And the subscriber, they lost millions of subscribers
it chips
across
out
Disney Plus,
insane amounts.
Hulu, ESPN Plus.
Yep.
Like that was, I think, really instructive for me. Like it kind of makes me think, like, if we want people to stop
aren't going back.
caving.
Sorry, Michelle says she's not going back. She's like, no.
Yeah,
they
Michelle
haven't
Brody
went
says,
back
I'm
yet.
not going to go back.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can find the movies elsewhere or whatever. I
some
really think that,
DVDs.
like, if capitalism here is like the problem, like they keep like basically caving, maybe this is the solution. Maybe we just need to continuously put consumer pressure on certain brands. Like, maybe we need to like really step this up because, like, are you gonna are these fucking people literally going to sacrifice America because they like want their merger to go through?
Yeah.
Like, just have a little bit less money.
It's the power. It's the power of the purse. I said this morning on The Contrarian that if Congress is not going to exercise its power of the purse, then we should. And I do think that these boycotts do have teeth. I saw something interesting too. It was rewarding the people that do right. So you don't take your dollars to the bad companies. You take your dollars to the good companies that are standing strong and not buying into the anti-DEI purge and all that other stuff. And part of that includes, okay, don't watch that and go and put your money somewhere else that's actually doing right by the people, because there's not a lot of them left. And so we should give them their money and support them. But
What
it
did
is
you guys
powerful.
think about The View? What did you think about The View's take the day after? They're on ABC. They did not talk about Jimmy Kimmel at all. They didn't say anything at all. In fact, Whoopi Goldberg came out with like a little light Charlie Kirk love.
You're scared.
I know. What's that show even though? What are we doing? What are you protecting? Like,
it's a very well-paid job. It's like a very hot, it still gets millions of viewers.
Does it?
So what? Yeah. I mean, not whatever. But do you question about, because, okay, the Trump administration actually has like a list of what companies are in good standing with them. The thing is, if you look at the list, like everything is on it, to some extent. So like, what do you do when, is it like targeted? I think there maybe needs to be like a strategy around it. What types of boycotts or like labor actions might make sense, but I think that might be the only thing that people will respond to in this country.
Should we talk about the next thing I'm pissed about? Are we ready to go from Jimmy?
Yeah. Yes, go.
Did y'all watch that autism presser he did today?
I can't. Like,
Sammy.
It was so bad.
First of all,
Tylenol.
Tylenol is going to come for his
Tylenol
ass.
is going to be like, what the fuck? Like, Tylenol was like in the crosshairs today. But
They
it's
just got over
so
that murder thing.
dangerous. It's so dangerous for this unfounded, unscientific stuff to be coming from the White House, of all
Dude.
places.
it's
How about
so
when he
bad.
says you don't need the hepatitis B vaccine until you're 12 years old
Well,
because it's a sexually transmitted disease?
oh,
You should, 12.
like, okay, we understand.
Look,
We
I'm
understand what you're
for it. I
saying.
think that's why we give it to people with babies, because unfortunately things happen to people without their consent, right? That are children and they need to be protected, right? But like for off the top of his mind to be like, when are people
12.
sexually active? 12 seems right. I was like, you're so gross.
That fits. That also tracks for Donald Trump, by
Just
the way.
refer to his drawing,
Oh, I was like, oh God, could you be any grosser?
But it's so, but Kennedy's standing there and Trump's like, I've been waiting to be able to say this for years. And yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know. What'd you guys
It's
talk about
just,
at an Epstein party?
oh, but it's Kennedy is so, I said the other day, he is so fucking dangerous. It's bad with Pamela Joe, Kash Patel, you name it, right? Those are all bad people. And what's happening right now with Lindsay Halligan in the Eastern District of Virginia, et cetera, all really bad. But when you have somebody like Kennedy, and you know who pisses me off? Like, Senator Cassidy, a fucking pediatrician
He
who
knows
could have
better.
sat there, you knew better. And now, after that hearing that he had when Kennedy went in front of Congress and was saying all that horrible shit, and Dr. Monarz is like, I didn't say that. It's like, it is such America truly is the laughingstock of this world, because who the hell now looks at us and thinks that we're going to be leaders, global leaders in science and medicine anymore?
We literally are just like, here, take all of everything good about us and like destroy it. Just
Well, Dr.
kill
Oz
it
has
all.
got his new grift, right? This B vitamin that he says can cure autism.
That is so
Levinovo,
fucked up.
something folinic acid, something.
I'm
Anyway, he's
purposely
like,
not
just could do
sharing
it.
the name.
No,
Because I
I
just
don't even know
I
what that
put it in
is.
my thing just saying that Dr. Oz has also, remember, been pulled in front of the Senate for lying about how supplements have health impacts. He has said that he uses flowery language to encourage his audience to like live a healthier life. But he if it wasn't the raspberry ketones, it was the green bean coffee, it was that melon he said would help you lose weight. He said selenium supplements could cure and prevent certain types of cancer. Like what's crazy about Dr. Oz is he was such a pioneering genius cardiothoracic surgeon. Like truly, hands down, could have made a life on that boy. The best in the business at the time. What was it about you that needed to be like a TV grifter doctor? Like, why did you give up being so legit? But he was the best at the cardiology. Like he could have,
But who gave him his original platform? Wasn't
I
it
know.
Oprah?
Oprah.
Oprah. Oprah gave him his original platform.
The fame,
because
baby.
she wanted to lose weight. And I
Right,
will tell
and he
you,
was selling it.
my mother once repeated one of his tips to me to lose weight, and it was that before you go out to dinner, you should have whole wheat bread and olive oil to fill up.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say a glass of water. Yeah.
That too.
12 almonds and a glass of water.
I mean, I think that was one of his less bad suggestions, to be honest. But
First,
yeah.
I lived with a girl who used to drink Diet Coke and Hershey's chocolate, only that all the time. And I mean, that because she had learned from some fucking place that it was like a diuretic. And that would be like how that was like breakfast. I was like, you know what? I have reverse body dysmorphia. I think I'm way hotter than I am my entire life. I'm always like, I think I look great. Like, I'm not worried about it.
That's amazing. I
I don't
mean,
know. There's got to be the other way for this. Of all growing up being socialized as a woman and everything, I'm the only woman I know who didn't have an eating disorder outside of the fact that I
Good
was
for
like,
you.
I have
lucky.
lots of other disorders. I was just always like, I think my gender dysphoria gave me body dysmorphia in reverse. I was
That
like,
makes sense in some ways.
I don't know, man. As soon as I had top surgery, it went away, and I was like, well, maybe we could work on some stuff. I don't know.
I mean, the fact that this man, RFK Jr., is in charge of our health when he is one of the most repulsive creatures that I think is available to the human eye at this moment is
So bad.
really something.
And the thing is, the man has always had an agenda. He has always monetized this whole anti-vax crusade. It's not like he's coming from a place of grace. He's not coming from a place of generosity because he legitimately cares about what happens to our children. It is for decades, the man has been making money off of being an anti-vaxxer. And now him and others, Tom Homan, for example, $50,000 fucking bribe, doesn't get indicted. And he is also in the privatized consulting business of trying to sit there and do, privatized prison systems. I mean, it's just such a disgusting example. I wrote a Substack about it. It's kleptocracy. And the one I wrote this morning was basically about the investment in Intel and everything that's going on in NVIDIA and stuff.
All the kickbacks.
All the kickbacks.
So bad.
And it's amazing because it's
Communism.
Pole position is Trump family. And then everybody around him, he doesn't care. As long as he gets his share, he doesn't care. Trump doesn't care. And so for him, if Kennedy wants to run around and Oz wants to run around making millions of dollars while in positions of trust and power, and what does Trump care? He doesn't care. He doesn't care if you die. He doesn't care if you starve. He doesn't care if you're homeless. He doesn't care. He doesn't care, which is why this idea, which is frankly, though, I will say this, people are paying attention. His approval ratings or lack thereof, the worst ever of any American president at this point. So this asshole's only 8 months in and nobody fucking likes him. So as far as I'm concerned, you know what? I have never, again, I told you guys this, everybody who's tuning in knows my humanity struggles with, that perverse satisfaction I get sometimes with people that are getting what they fucking voted for. But I will say this, let them do it. If we can't stand in the way of it, let them do it, because this Jimmy Kimmel thing came back to bite them in the ass, friends.
Totally.
Not only was it a financial problem for them, but there was fallout from Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and others speaking up and saying, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul. I mean, all these people that are like, you can't do this. And I think people really had to stop and ask themselves, when Democrats come back into power, they're going to shut this all shit down on that side, right? I mean, listen, I'm all for what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm also calling for total accountability for these people that have done this when Democrats are back in power. I'm not going to be like, let's
ethics reform. No, we did grace. We already did grace.
We did
4 years of grace.
What did it do for us? And I want to know from you guys, though. I'm saying just shut the government down next week. That's my vote.
Please. Who cares?
They have to. Do you think Chuckles will, though? Chucky and Hakeem? I don't think
I'm so over the two of them. Like, when their names are mentioned, I just get so angry.
It's just too much. It's too much. His not endorsing Zoran Mamdani to this point is like so crazy, but they vote for Charlie Kirk Day. I was like, you guys, come on.
Oh, that whole Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day thing.
It's so embarrassing.
We're not going to whip
so
votes.
Embarrassing.
We're not going to whip votes. We'll let you vote your conscience, but we're all going to vote for it. What?
So it's like they voted their conscience. Thank you for telling us what your conscience is. But you know what you were just saying about his approval rating? I think that there will be some realities that set in. I don't know what the results of those realities setting in will be, but a friend of mine who works in like wholesale goods, she sent me like a trade update.
Tariff stuff, right?
That Walmart is raising its prices by 45% in 30 days because of the tariffs. And that's just the first raise that they're going to do. And by the time it's Christmas, it's going to be fucking insane.
I couldn't get a package through customs because it was held because of the tariffs. It was held at customs because nobody wanted to pay for what it was. I'm telling you, I couldn't get a package through. It was coming from China. People are not, listen, what is it? September 22nd, people. Holiday season around the corner, people. What's going to happen?
My little
drone send mail here.
No, my little drone came from Canada and it was held 2 weeks because they were waiting for like a critical mass of shipment to be able to container.
Exactly.
Oh my God. People do not know what we're in for. They just don't.
Well, and like Michelle, it's so expensive for rent in LA. I agree. Miami just got ranked the most expensive city to eat in in the country,
Really?
right? Yeah, it is.
Wow.
And people can't. And let me tell you something. We are a city of excess in Miami. And I will tell you right now, people are
Exactly.
not spending money down here. And they are not. We always jokingly say you can't tell there's a recession ever down here. I will tell you, the tourists aren't coming here, partially because they're worried that they won't be able to get into the fucking country, by the
Right.
way. And if they
Or
do,
out.
they're gonna and if they're brown,
Right.
they're gonna get rounded up and sent to like Namibia or something, whatever.
Mhm.
So they're upset about that. And I will tell you, all the construction, we are like the,
Too
big
much.
cranes, high-rise cranes, all nothing. Nothing's happening. And people that do have flow, they're not releasing it. They're not spending their money here right now. They're waiting because they're nervous about what's going to happen.
Mhm.
End of story.
What about when you get the snowbirds in a few months?
Oh,
We didn't
seasonality.
get them. Yeah.
We're getting massive seasonality, though. I will tell you this: but we're not getting the Canadians as much as we used to.
Do
Oh,
you know what we
they don't want
had?
to come here.
So we had my sister's, the school my niece goes to, my friend from high school, for her daughter's school. We were trying to like put together a story about this, but I need like more statistical evidence. In my friend's daughter's school, 70 new families have joined the school from like Florida, Arkansas, Mississippi. Like people who moved away are moving to Connecticut because, and the whole thing is like we, needed to move to the Northeast to try and like feel safer, secure with like being a liberal family or whatever.
That's true.
I mean,
We have no
Rochester is seeing
vaccines down
explosive,
here.
yeah.
There's at
Rochester
least
seeing explosive growth, yeah,
Open
the
open
Northeast.
carry in Florida now, and no
yeah.
vaccines.
But there's
The
like
Northeast
70
started
new
a
families, yeah.
public health collective, so
Yeah.
they're going to be doing the best they can do.
People are moving up here if you got kids, I guess.
I don't like
Rochester's
going.
nuts, yeah.
I don't like Florida because of the open carry. Honestly, I've been trying to avoid Florida since COVID. Like, I just have
Yeah,
not.
I know
I
I
think that
haven't.
the atmosphere has become very like
Well, for me, it's a bathroom
fanatical.
issue. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
and my parents live in Florida and I haven't gone down to see them. And my dad's like, I don't know why V doesn't come down to Florida. Like they used to come all the time. And mom's like, V's afraid they have to go to the bathroom in the airport. They're going to get beat up or some shit. Like they're like genuinely afraid that they're going to get, people are
And
so
now
emboldened to question
it's
people
open
and be shitty.
carry.
Yeah. So he's like, well, I mean, I would just pick them up. And she's like, I know, Paul, but like, that's why I'm not afraid to be in my parents' house necessarily, but it's the
what
travel
if?
process. Same thing
Yeah,
with why I didn't do an event in Arkansas, which is sad because I try to do the Midwest a lot because there's gay people there and they don't always get like somebody that they know
Yeah.
to come to their town.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I didn't because I was like, man, I don't know. Like it's too dangerous.
That's sad.
yeah.
It does
But
suck.
it's
It sucks and
true.
it's sad. Yeah.
It's true though, down here. Listen, I mean, I'm fighting every day down here in Florida, but it isn't easy
Yeah. No.
because, which is why I always tell people you got to run for local and state office if you
Oh,
can.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
and even if it looks like the deck is stacked against you, you have to run. And that's also why, No King's Day, I say, look, everybody's got to get out there on October 18th too. We got to, even if you're in an Arkansas or Florida, you got to get out there and you have to show your support because people need to see us. People need to see that we're there. They really do.
What happened to all those Kamala voters in the villages? Where are they?
Oh, they're
Still in the
there.
villages.
Yeah, they're still there.
Okay.
They're rocking out.
Let's get that movement back up
I
and
know.
running.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like the other thing I think is interesting is how well the Republicans have been able to paint the idea that the Democrats are the establishment. They're the government. They're the bad guy when in fact they have all the power. And I'm like, you're not the outsiders. You're the status quo. You're the power. You're the government. Trump said in his thing today, we got the worst people out there doing health. And it's like, they're your people now. You don't have the worst people.
Oh
They're
yeah.
your people.
You broke
can't
it, you buy
blame
it.
Biden anymore. You can't blame Democrats. You have everything.
They have the trifecta. They have the Senate, the House,
they got
and the Oval.
SCOTUS. Yeah, and
They have
SCOTUS.
all of it.
They got it everything.
That's right.
So
That's right. They can't say it's our fault anymore.
And they
Which is why
cleared
I'm
out the
telling you.
government.
Right.
There's no one left.
Yeah.
There's no one left. I don't know.
Just us. But
just those chickens here on the Substack with 2,000
I mean, we'll see who's left after the rapture.
Ah, Look,
The
the
lethal
rapture is not
garbage.
coming for me, and that's great news because I am going to see Kamala Harris on Wednesday for her
Woot
book
woot.
tour here in New York
I'm
City.
so excited for her book.
I
my God.
am so excited for the book. It's brutal to the Bidens.
Download
Sharon
it.
McMahon got an advance copy, was telling me about it. She said it's brutal to the Bidens. It's very honest about some of the people who, were sort of like talking shit about her before. I'm excited to see what Kamala's got to say.
That's going to be a click on your Kindle at midnight for me.
Yeah.
Got to stay up.
So I
It'll
get to
be
see
worth it.
her for like a quick minute on Wednesday, which I think will be healing.
I am
It'll be
very eager
fantastic.
to engage in the discourse around this book, and I need to see what it says. I don't know why. It's not like productive, but it makes me feel good in a bad
Which
way.
I think it is productive.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it is
why
productive.
well, Hillary had what happened, and it's worth
I didn't
knowing
read
what was happening to them.
I didn't read that.
I think it's
You didn't?
productive because
No.
Sammy, because Sammy,
I know what
there
happened.
comes a time when you can't have somebody else speak for you. Like you need to have your own voice to explain it.
Oh, no, I'm thrilled. I think it's productive that she's writing it. I don't think it's productive that we're all going to be like,
Well, I
the
want to gossip
Bidens,
the
the
fuck
Democrats,
out of it.
like
No, I don't
for like a
care.
week.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
But I'm
for us,
excited
but
to
it's
do
going to be
it
fun.
nonetheless. So
V's like,
I'm ready to
bring it
gossip.
on.
I'm in my villain era.
Same.
I'm in my I can't. Yeah, I just can't. I'm just over it, I'm like 5 steps ahead because I just gave up on there's nothing I can do to it's like game theory and strategy, right? I'm like, okay, in this exact moment, I can report every single day on every single fucked up thing that Trump and these people are doing. Or we could start to think about where is the exit? Okay, what is the strategy to get to an exit? Do we have to build an exit? Like, what tools do I need to be building right now instead of constantly letting him trigger me into only talking and focusing on him? So I've been doing less reporting than normal and a lot of reading or trying to meet with people in person or trying to actually say, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because I know we'll spend the rest of my life recovering from Trump 2.0, but I do want to be a part of that recovery in a productive way. So
I agree.
That's lovely, actually. Less navel gazing. We've had enough.
yes.
But I will say though, the Kamala book will generate again that discourse that Sammy's kind of smirking about right now. There will be that discourse from the Kamala book, but less navel gazing and more calls to action. But what, right?
I
And
wonder what
I
she's going to
think
say about the DNC. Do you think she's going to say anything about them? I know she says they fucked up her DNC.
I think they
DNC is
should.
like, the convention or the organization?
Yeah,
The
both.
convention.
I want to know what they say about both.
The
Both.
organization has no teeth.
I know, but it's so double-edged, right? Because you need them if she's going
They
to run
really
again, but
don't.
they were terrible. Yeah.
What do you need them for, though?
You
I don't
don't.
know actually anymore. Maybe don't.
I think the
$15 million.
I think one of the amazing things, though, I think from what just happened to us in November is, I do think it actually brought a deeper sense of community to those of us that are like-minded. I think the affinity lines have actually gotten stronger than before. One, two, and that's what happens where you're in the gulag together. I do think there is misery loves company.
Trauma bonding. Yeah.
Trauma
It's
bonding.
clarifying in a certain way.
Yeah.
It is, like my shampoo. But number two, I also think one of the things is we had one of those scales falling from our eyes moments that made us realize that we don't need the machine, the quote unquote machine. The political machine is not a
Talk more
necessary
about
thing
that,
for us.
Katie. Yeah.
We don't, because we have seen people like Zoran Mandami, for example, whether you like him or not. He is not a product of the traditional political machine, people. We are seeing the rewarding of authenticity, and some authentic candidates are fitting the mold of the traditional candidates. And so it just goes to show we don't need the machine. We don't need the DNC. I understand. But guess what? Some people are not going to give money to the DNC, but they'll give money to Mandani, won't they? Right?
Yeah.
They'll take their small dollar donation and they'll give it to Sami when she runs for office, V when
Working
you run for
Families
office.
Party. Oh God, please don't wish
Exactly.
that on me.
They'll give it to. Listen, I decided not to run. I was going to run and I decided not
I'm
to
doing
run. But
school
here's
board next year, but that's for my town. That's like a part-time
That's a
I'll
big
help you
volunteer.
run.
deal.
I'll help
Yeah.
run your school board
Yeah.
campaign.
Let's
for you.
do
But
it.
I
They're
was going
gonna
to
lose
run
their
for.
minds.
I was going to run for attorney general in Florida or U.S.
Ooh.
Senate, and I didn't. I know. Look at
Maybe
this. Breaking
Phang.
news. Breaking news. But I didn't. But the point is, I know it was going to be
Maybe
interesting.
another
Would have been
time.
killer.
But don't count me out yet.
Save it for a couple years. Save it.
Honestly, like it would have been really good just so you could like get your ideas out there. That's what I've been thinking. Like,
But I do it anyway, though, on my YouTube channel with
yeah,
all
but
the
it's
guys at
a,
Substack.
but there's a
You could
certain
win
like
in like a year or two. Yeah.
there's a certain like certain level that you bring to it where like way more people who wouldn't have listened to you might start to hear you because like you'd be this candidate,
running for X.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then it's like, oh, her campaign is talking about this, this, and this. That's like, that's meaningful.
Yeah. But anyway, I just
But
feel
another
like
time.
there has been a realization, and it was due to forced errors and unforced errors on their part, but the realization that there is an impotence that comes from trying to be so unwieldy and so big that you don't know how to pivot when it's necessary. And I think the November 2024 election showed the pivoting didn't happen, and we weren't able to do it in a way that was effective and that was fast and efficient. And sometimes that's what you need. And we don't get that in traditional political machines anymore. So I think that actually that was a good thing about us losing, that now we realize that we can't count on those institutions.
Over, man.
We have to do it for ourselves. And that means we really are going back to the basics. It's just us taking care of each other.
Same goes for the media environment.
Oh, hell,
for
fuck.
real.
Yes, I know. Trust me. I know that. I know that.
Yeah, it's real, but
What
then
is
again, like, would you
MSNBC
want
gonna
to be able to
do?
say what you want?
Ms. Now? Ms.
Ms.
Now? What is
Now?
Ms. Now?
Ms.
Somebody
What are
Now.
they going to be? Are they going to be on
They
TV
put
still?
Ms. Now
Yeah.
into Chat GPT and
Yeah.
said, please show me what this person, and it was a very interesting drag queen. It was actually pretty
Oh
funny.
my God, I love
That's
it.
really funny.
So they'll still be
Ms.
on TV,
Miss M.
but they just don't
Snow.
have the name.
It'll
Yeah,
be
they'll
on
still be on
TV,
TV.
on linear, and they're trying to have a digital
And
presence.
YouTube and
But
stuff.
that's it.
I think
mean,
this is going to be
It's
really
tough.
tough because they're not going to have the money, right?
They're
It
building
won't
a
be
whole
as funded the
reporting.
same.
Well, they're building a whole reporting structure, and they did break MSNBC broke that Tom Homan story.
Yes.
Carol Leonnig did, who
Carol
was
Leonnig,
at
yeah.
the
For
original from Washington
for M.
Post.
Snow.
For Miss Snow.
Yes.
They are moving, though, so they are going into new space where they're splitting up. And so like all of like the studios and stuff will be located in a different location near Times Square in space they already have. And then they're going to split up like the kind of the operational side of it into Inglewood in New Jersey, where they already own that space for CNBC. So they are saving money that way. But remember,
it's a profitable business.
No,
MSNBC
which is why they're selling it. No, it's not.
And
they're trying to sell it. So people need to pay attention on who buys it.
Right.
Who buys it. It's up for sale. That's the whole reason why it was being spun off from NBC.
Why does Puck report that it's profitable?
To help sell it, maybe? I don't know.
I mean,
well, now listen, MSNBC is being sold off as a part of a multi-asset product. So it's MSNBC, it's CNBC, it's Golf Channel, it's all those other cable-y kind of things. I think like Discovery, ID, whatever those things.
Yeah. Oh, I love the ID channel.
It's being packaged together and sold off that way. So that's the reason why it's off the balance sheet for NBC.
Got it. Well, we will see. We will
I don't know, I've got like 2
MSNBC.
more times to be on the weekend before it's over, and then I'm not going to New Jersey to be on TV. That's
It wouldn't be in
crazy.
New Jersey. It'd be in
No,
Times
you would
Square.
be in Times Square. They would have like the operational side in Jersey.
I'm just saying, I love that little weekend show, mostly because I love Eamon. I think Eamon and Antonia and Elise now is the ones that I've dealt with, but Eamon, he's my guy. I like him. He's a cool
Good
dude.
job.
Aim and
He's a good
Memorial
dude.
Team is one of the best. Yep.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So I care about what happens to him.
He still has his job.
Yeah,
A
he does
contract.
for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking
You know,
tough
we're
out
all
there
gonna
though, because
see what
social media is
happens.
getting weirder and weirder. That's like all the panels I'm here for Climate Week and Clinton Global Initiative and all this are like, I feel like the last couple of years it's been like new media, oh my God, responsible people. We're meeting all these like cool new people that are doing all this stuff. And now they're like, what happened? What's going on with these kids? They're crazy. What's going on with these people? Now there's millions of people who do the news and like some of them are not good at it. And I'm like, well, I don't know, man. It became like a possibility, right? With something being a possibility model, it's like the first podcasters were more people like NPR-ish, and then it expanded out. It became a possibility. Oh, that's a job. I'll give that job a try. You've got a mix now.
Yeah.
You've got a whole mix of people, but trad media, legacy media, nonprofit newsrooms, freaking out. Very different vibes this year compared to years past, where I felt like my first couple of years, they were like, fuck you, you're a hack. Then in the middle, I was the greatest thing that ever happened. And now it's like, oh my God, we're actually like really scared of everything because either they've lost their funding and they can't compete on the Substack, or they don't know how to YouTubeify their reporting. And that is a separate skill. And they're freaked. All the panels I have this week are more people freaking out about how can we rebuild trust in legacy institutions so that we don't have to compete with new media the way that we are. And I'm like, I don't know, guys.
You can't go in reverse.
I don't think we
Everyone
can
needs
put that
to
train back
stop.
on the track.
You know, it's like, does anyone ever think like maybe we should stop solving yesterday's problem?
Yeah.
There you go.
I know.
Like,
Well, we have to
move
go.
along.
It's 8 p.m. We've
Oh
been
yeah,
on for
I
an
gotta
hour.
go.
We got
I need to
things
eat
Thanks,
some
to go.
dinner.
everybody. I
This
missed
was
you
so
guys.
fun.
I'm so glad we were
Miss you
together.
We'll be
guys.
back for more shit talking and speculating soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.